Following breaking news and major developments just within the past hour in the sex trafficking trial of Sean Combs, we've just learned the judge has denied a request by the defense for a mistrial to be declared. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles live outside the courthouse with the very latest. Darla.
Well, David, just this morning, this request for a mistrial and the denial by Judge Arun Submarinian centers around the testimony of arson investigator Lance Jimenez and this Kid Cudi car fire. This Kid Cudi car fire is a big part of the prosecution's case. And this was a moment inside of the courtroom that none of us saw coming, the request for a mistrial. We do have court sketches from this morning of Combs' attorney, Alexandra Shapiro, citing prosecutorial misconduct with a line of questioning to Officer Jimenez about the fingerprints taken from the Molotov cocktail evidence recovered from the Porsche 911. He testified that a partial fingerprint was recovered from a bottle of Old English malt liquor that was used for the Molotov cocktail, that the Molotov cocktail was failed in that it was not assembled properly and that the cloth did not burn properly. But he talked about a latent print that was found, and then he said that the victim of this crime, Scott Muscudi, had a break-in and that he had independent fingerprints taken from the break-in inside of his home, that Muscudi gave those fingerprints to the arson investigator, and that somehow those two fingerprint cards disappeared. When the prosecution started asking about, has this ever happened before, that's when there was a big objection by Mark Agnifilo, the lead attorney for Sean Combs. There was one recess, then there was another recess, and then when we returned from that recess, that's when Ms. Shapiro said that the jury has now been prejudiced, that there is an inference that Mr. Combs had something to do with the disappearance of those fingerprint cards. The prosecution said this is absolutely no reason for a mistrial. They certainly landed in the middle in that the jury will now have to disregard the testimony, the last two questions from the prosecution about the disappearance of the fingerprint cards, and the answers from the prosecution witness, arson investigator Lance Jimenez. When I left court just about 30 minutes ago, Jimenez was still on the stand. Mark Agnifilo was beginning his cross-examination, but that was certainly probably one of the most dramatic moments in this trial for Combs' attorneys to ask for a mistrial, to cite prosecutorial misconduct. That request was denied. That's the latest for now in Lower Manhattan. Reporting live, Darla Miles, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.